They called it a security initiative. The letter arrived folded twice, thick paper embossed with the Meadow Ridge Homeowners Association seal, a tasteful silver oak tree, roots curling around the words, "For a safer tomorrow." The first line was cheerful enough. To ensure community harmony and collective well-being, the HOA will be installing a network of neighborhood security monitors. Most of us read that and thought, cameras, fine, whatever. We'd grown numb to HOA projects, ornamental rock swaps, mailbox repaintings, approved grass seed programs. A few cameras couldn't hurt. After all, there'd been some mailbox theft last winter. It felt logical, responsible even. At least, that's how they sold it. The work began early Monday morning. 2 men in reflective vests moved from house to house, mounting small black domes above each mailbox post. No visible wires, just sleek matte metal. Modern, unassuming. By noon, the cul-de-sac looked like a military base disguised as suburbia. At the bottom of the letter, in smaller print, all residents are reminded that tampering, obstructing, or disabling these units constitutes a Level 3 violation, subject to penalty. No one said a word. We smiled at the workers, waved as they finished. We kept up appearances, because that's what Meadow Ridge demanded. It started subtly. Lawn edges straighter than usual. Trash cans rolled out and back in at identical times. Curtains drawn at sundown. Neighbors began greeting one another more often, always with the same tone, same smile, same exact phrasing. Morning. Great day for community safety, isn't it? It was eerie, but polite. I told myself I was imagining it. Paranoia was contagious in quiet places like this. Then came the camera. It was Tuesday morning when I noticed it. While pulling weeds, I happened to glance at my mailbox. The lens wasn't pointed down the street like the others. It was tilted, ever so slightly, upward. Right at my bedroom window. For a moment, I just stared. The air felt thick, like I'd caught something staring back. I went inside and checked from upstairs. Sure enough, the glossy black dome faced me like a glass eye. I tried to brush it off. Probably a mistake, an installer error. Still, something about it felt deliberate. That night, I shut my blinds for the first time in years. By Wednesday morning, I had convinced myself to test it. I took an old cereal box, cut out a square, and taped it over the camera's lens. It wasn't destruction, just privacy. An hour later, while brewing coffee, I heard a soft thump outside. A white envelope. No stamp. HOA letterhead. Inside, a single sheet. Notice of infraction. Tampering with observation devices is a Level 3 violation. Do not attempt again. No signature, just my name, printed at the top, Mr. James K. Ralston, and a date, today's date. I stood at the counter, hands shaking slightly. I looked out the window. Across the street, Mrs. Dalton was watering her begonias. She glanced up, directly at my window, and waved. Her smile didn't reach her eyes. Over the next week, the neighborhood changed tone. The small talk felt scripted. People said things twice, as if rehearsed. Every car that passed my house slowed just slightly, like its driver was waiting for me to wave. And the cameras, they began moving. Not always. Not noticeably. But sometimes I'd swear one had shifted since morning. Slightly to the left, then back again. I asked around. Mr. Larkin from 2 houses down said he didn't notice anything. Mine points at the driveway. Works perfectly, he said. Then, as he spoke, his eyes flicked to the dome on his post, and he smiled too wide. I think it's great. Keeps us safe. The HOA called for a community compliance gathering. Attendance was mandatory. The rec center was packed, About 60 residents, all seated in perfect rows. Meredith Lowe, the association president, stood at the front with a calm, glassy look. She wore her hair in the same tight bun she'd had since the day I moved here. "Thank you for joining," she began. "I want to address some concerns about our new security monitors." Her voice was soothing, rehearsed. "These cameras are not for punishment. They're for safety, for harmony." Behind her, a projector showed a slide, a grid of camera feeds. Every mailbox in the neighborhood. I scanned the wall of screens. There, third row, far right. My house. My camera still faced upward, directly at my bedroom, and as I stared, the feed shifted. The lens moved. Meredith noticed my reaction. Her eyes met mine. She smiled. "Please remember, only those with something to hide fear being seen." Sleep became impossible. Every creak in the house felt amplified, every shadow sharper. I started hearing a faint click at night, mechanical, rhythmic. The sound of a servo motor adjusting. I'd wake up to find the blinds slightly open, the chime of my phone, motion detection, always the same time, 3:14 a.m. Each morning I'd look at the footage. Nothing. Just the same frame of the mailbox, perfectly still. I called the HOA office. No one answered. Their voicemail was just a looped message. "Thank you for your cooperation. Surveillance season runs until community stability is achieved." Surveillance season, like it was weather. Friday night. A knock at my door. 3 sharp taps. I opened it to find 2 HOA representatives standing there. A man and woman in gray suits, badges clipped to their collars. "Mr. Ralston," the woman said, smiling. "We received notice that your blinds were closed during active monitoring hours." "Excuse me?" "Closed blinds restrict our community view metrics," she explained gently. "We encourage transparency." "I like privacy," I said. The man's smile didn't move. Privacy is a privilege earned through compliance. I laughed nervously. "You're serious?" Neither of them blinked. Behind them, several neighbors stood watching, silent, hands folded. I felt something shift inside me. Something cold. The next morning, I tested a theory. I waved at the mailbox camera. Nothing. Then I whispered. Just loud enough for the wind to carry it. "You're not real." Later that day, I received a letter. Residents spreading disruptive misinformation regarding security devices may be subject to review. Disruptive misinformation. That's what they called it. That Sunday, the neighborhood looked like a still photograph. Everyone mowing their lawns at the same time. Cars backing out simultaneously, same angle. Same pause at the stop sign. Even the children. No laughter. Just polite play. It felt like a simulation. As if someone had replaced my neighbors with obedient copies. I decided to leave. The community gate, usually open during the day, was closed. A small sign now read, "Community observation active. Entry and exit temporarily restricted." When I approached the keypad, my access code failed. I tried again. "Access denied." I pressed the intercom button. A mechanical voice responded, "Residents are advised to remain in their homes during surveillance season." The speaker clicked off. That night, I ripped the camera from my mailbox. It came off easier than expected. Just a hollow shell, plastic and light. Inside, no wires, no circuit board. Just a black lens and a red LED that wasn't attached to anything. Fake. I felt a rush of relief, followed by terror. If the cameras weren't real, who was sending the letters? I walked to my porch. Every other camera glowed faintly in the dark, red dots like eyes watching me. Then one by one, they turned toward me, perfect unison. By morning, every neighbor stood outside, each one perfectly still, facing their mailbox. The air hummed. Not sound, but a pressure, like static beneath the skin. I stepped out cautiously. "Morning," said Mr. Larkin in the same flat tone. Then Mrs. Dalton, then the children. "Morning. Great day for community safety, isn't it?" The same words, identical inflection. Their eyes didn't blink, and behind them, Meredith Lowe appeared, clipboard in hand. "Mr. Ralston," she said softly, "you've become non-compliant. They escorted me to the community center. The same projector, the same wall of screens. Only now, every feed showed me, from different angles, different perspectives, standing in my yard, brushing my teeth, sleeping. Dozens of me." "You're not making sense," I said. "The cameras are fake." Meredith smiled kindly. "Mr. Ralston, you misunderstand." She walked closer. "I could smell lavender and antiseptic. The cameras were never meant to record. They were meant to remind." "Of what?" "That you're always being watched. By everyone else." The screens behind her flickered. For a split second I saw faces. Not mine, not human, staring out. Then static. "Community," she whispered. "Harmony." When I got home, my mailbox was gone. In its place, a new post, freshly installed. A larger camera on top. Inside the box was another letter. "We appreciate your continued participation. Observation has improved 23%. Your cooperation ensures a safer tomorrow." That night, I didn't close the blinds. I just sat by the window, staring back at the camera, waiting for it to blink. The wind moved through the trees. A faint click echoed in the dark. I whispered, "You win." The red light blinked once, acknowledgement, then turned off. For the first time in weeks, the street was completely dark and silent. They called it a success. The next HOA newsletter celebrated the Community Cohesion Initiative. No more thefts. No more noise complaints. Everyone compliant. Everyone smiling. I still waved at my neighbors. They waved back, robotic but pleasant. And at night, I'd see a faint glow from the corner of each yard. Not red anymore, but white. Like halos. Sometimes I wondered if anyone inside those houses was still real. Sometimes I wasn't sure if I was. A moving truck arrived today. New family, the Petersons. They smiled brightly, shook hands, unpacked boxes. I watched from my porch as the HOA representatives greeted them with a folder, a welcome basket, and a small black dome. The father looked confused. "Is that a camera?" Meredith smiled. "Just for safety. Everyone has one." She leaned in, whispered something to him. I couldn't hear what, but his smile froze. Later that night, I saw him standing by his mailbox, staring up at the lens. Just staring. The next morning, he waved at me across the street, eyes hollow. "Morning," he said. "Great day for community safety, isn't it?" They called it surveillance, but we were never being watched by machines. We were watching each other and forgot how to stop.